Good morning, vinyl community. Bradley here. I have a couple jazz records from the 2000 teens that I will review. So I guess you would call this modern jazz. I don't know. The first album is Robert Glasper, Double Booked, from 2009, I believe. It is on the Blue Note record label. It's got the modern Blue Note label there. Now the album is called Double Booked. It has two records in this album. Robert Glasper, if you're not familiar with him, he's a very good jazz pianist, current day. He started out having his own trio, piano, bass, and drums. And this particular album, the first album, contains the jazz trio. Now the second album, it's called the Robert Glasper Experiment, which is more electronic, little hip-hop-ish, R&B. So you get two pretty distinct genres in here, and he's very good at both of them. On the second album, The Experiment, he has some guests on here, and I am not familiar with some of these hip-hop artists. The one I am familiar with is Mos Def. So anyhow, on the first side, the piano trio, it's got Robert Glasper on piano. Chris Dave plays drums. He plays on both albums, the trio and also the Experiment. Fantastic drummer and percussionist. Excellent. And the acoustic bass, the double bass, is Vicente Archer, who he is replaced by Derek Hodge on the more electronic Experiment album. Now the trio music, I like piano based trios, jazz, but sometimes they all kind of meld into each other as far as I'm concerned. This particular album is different than that. I would say overall the songs they move. I don't know if you call it upbeat. The percussion is fantastic in here, as I said. So I enjoy this kind of piano trio very much, as opposed to some other artist. I remember reading a review of this album, and the reviewer said John Coltrane is smiling when he heard this album, which the reviewer was talking about Robert Glasper willing to experiment. Now I am not into hip-hop, R&B that much. I would not probably go out and buy an album. I would rather have a straight-ahead jazz album. But this is really good. So I didn't have to buy one. It comes with the package here. So it's pretty cool on side one. It's got an intro. which is a phone call from maybe Robert Glasper's manager, and he's asking Robert, hey, so-and-so at this club told me you were playing tonight. Now, which one is it? Is it the trio or is it the experiment? Which, that sets the whole album up very nicely. Like I said, I like the piano, the jazz trio, more than the experiment, but the experiment is very good. They use a vocoder quite a bit on voices. It's really nice sounding stuff. And that was released in, I think, 2009. So, Robert Glasper, double booked. I would highly recommend that. Now, the second, kind of like, I guess you'd call it modern jazz album, is, this artist is from Norway. His name is Marius Neset. And this album is called Pinball. It is on the ACT label, which is a Scandinavian label. The actual label is very plain. No song listings or anything. Now this label, ACT, they have a lot of jazz. They're primarily jazz. And a lot of their covers, this is a little different. It shows a photograph of Marius. But a lot of their album covers, they remind me of Windham Hill album covers. When you would see a Windham Hill album cover, you would immediately know it was Windham Hill release. So anyhow, this does come with a digital download card, which is really nice. So I'll tell you briefly about Marius Neset. This particular album is from 2015, just a couple years old. Marius Neset is currently 33 years old. He was born in Bergen, Norway. I'm not sure if that's the second largest city in Norway. Whatever. He's a saxophonist, tenor and soprano. Also plays clarinet. I initially came across this artist because I want to search for Scandinavian jazz. And I know a few people from the Scandinavian countries, and so I was interested in that. And to me, this may be a misconception. It probably is. But it seems like a lot of the like Swedish and Danish jazz, it seems like a lot of them were like piano trios and all that, which is fine. But, you know, sometimes I want a little more. I like a little horn in there. So, anyhow, this is a very good album. I was reading a couple reviews, and one reviewer says it combines Brecker's power with Jan Garbarik's tonal delicacy, which Garbarek, he was I think a Norwegian sax player. Excellent. Another reviewer said it abolishes the border between jazz and symphonic music. Marius Neset is a fantastic sax player, classically jazz trained. He's a very good composer and arranger also. I think he has probably 6 albums under his name. and several others where he plays on them that are out. What I like about this particular record is each song is different. You know, it's a good variety. If I were to describe this, let's put it in a recipe. Okay. Let's take a teaspoon of Norwegian folk, maybe a little bit of avant-garde, probably a lot of world music, ambient, fusions in there, orchestral, and a lot of percussive, rhythmic. Like the Glasper album, the drumming on this album is excellent. The drummer's name was Anton Agar, and he co-wrote half of these, what are there, 10 songs, or 12 songs. He co-wrote half of them with Marius. Like I said, fantastic drummer. The first two songs on here are called World Song Part 1 and Part 2, which it's a world music vibe. A lot of percussion, hand claps. The vibraphonist on this album is Jim Hart. Here's the rear. And Jim Hart is from the UK. He's a very popular European vibraphonist. So, and you also have some cello in here. Now the title song is Pinball. The beginning of it is, I don't know, to me it's almost Dolphy-esque, Eric Dolphy-esque. But with this music, it's maybe you know where it's going a little bit better. It's not dissonant. Unique sounds on this album. I really like it. But and these songs on here, boy, if you were to read the transcription of notes, the time signatures, it would probably be changing every couple measures. You know, just I don't know how you could transcribe this, you know, for somebody else to read the music and play this album. But this particular album, I was searching for it. I live in Ohio, in the United States, and I searched on, I think, Best Buy and Amazon, everywhere I could think of, and I could not find the LP. So I had a Norwegian friend was coming over, so I asked him to look for and buy a vinyl copy of this record, and he brought it over, and thank you, Canute. But since then, I think I checked Barnes & Noble on their website, and I believe they do carry this album as an LP. Like I said, this, if you're looking for something maybe new and a little different, I would definitely check this album out by Marius Neset. I think you might be happy. that is my jazz review for this morning. It's a beautiful day, got a nice breeze. You may be able to hear the chimes. Then again, maybe not. So anyhow, this is Bradley. I will catch you later. Have a wonderful day. See ya.